beautiful souls, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I wanted to discuss some powerful tips on how to overcome the seasons of setbacks. So it's safe to say my story is full of many setbacks and seasons of suffering. And honestly, I can now say, even though I'm still going through seasons of setbacks this year, I can honestly say that it has truly been a blessing to my life. And with every setback that I've had, I've seen the beauty that has unfolded post the suffering, and it has just inspired me to continue on even in the seasons this year that I've experienced. And I did a poll on my Instagram and I asked, have you been experiencing any seasons of setbacks this year? And almost 100% of the respondents said yes, they have been. It is so crazy that it's not just me experiencing setbacks, but tons, hundreds of others that have been experiencing setbacks this year alone. I just want to make this video because each person is going to experience setbacks in their life, and each person is going to be experiencing seasons of suffering. And it's better to have a grip on it now before it happens, and a plan now before it happens, so that you can enter into those seasons in your life when they come with strength and a victory mindset, so that you can overcome it quickly as possible, and that you just won't be in such full shock when it does happen, but rather you're in the mindset and the mode of let's power through, let's get through this, what can I learn from this, how can I grow from this, what is life trying to teach me right now, so that I can live more aligned in the path that I'm supposed to live in. And I think it's really important that each person really becomes aware of what they're going through in their lives and what seasons they're going through, instead of just living the life of, monotone, living on autopilot, just walking through and just being like, oh, go to work, come home, eat, sleep, wake up, do the same thing again. And if anything's taught us this year in 2020 is that there's so much more to life than the regular routine that we're on autopilot, and there's just so much more to us and our story than maybe what we're currently residing in or pursuing. And seasons of setbacks definitely show us and give us a new perspective on our lives and ourselves, and where we need to grow and where we need to develop better mindsets, and healthier habits in order to be able to be prosperous and overcome in victory. So when you experience seasons of setbacks, you want to be able to identify the fear that automatically pops up when you go through these seasons, because guarantee there will be fear, because it's fear of the unknown, of what is happening, and you're not used to this setback, you're not used to this new pace, this new perspective, this new life, this new mindset, this new routine. You're not used to any of it, so it's all unknown to you. It's uncharted territory, and that can bring up a lot of fear. It can trigger you, and it can even trigger your past wounds that you have not worked through, and it starts to manifest within your mindset, within your actions, within your choices, and within the life around you if you don't take control of that fear. And it's so important and vital to your well-being and your healing and your health and just your success in life that you grab a hold of this fear, that you acknowledge that you have fear and you accept that you have fear. You are not weak because you have fear. Every human deals with fear. Now, the key is not to let it rule your life. Like, you keep doing what you need to do. You keep going after what you want to go after despite that fear. And the more you do that, the more you just kind of walk over that fear and overcome that fear, the less the fear will control you and your life, and the less that it will manifest in different areas of your life. And, it's a continual process. It's a mindful process that really takes a lot of time and growth and effort into being able to overcome fear, because fear definitely chains us, and it's chained me for many, many years, especially going through my chronic illness journey. It's like the one thing, it's the root of basically all my unhealed wounds is fear, and once you acknowledge that you have fear in this unknown season of setbacks, and then once you become aware of, maybe what's triggering that fear, like what incident exactly triggered that fear in your life, and then dig deeper into the root cause of this fear. And then the more you dig deep into the whys, the hows, etc., the better you'll get to know yourself, and the better you'll get to know the shadow self, the parts of you that you repress and you don't really expose in the light, or the parts that are unhealed. And that's like the shadow self, is the unhealed parts of you that tend to come out at horrible times. But once you approach it differently and shift your mindset, and you shift the relationship you have with fear into something more sustaining and something more positive and something more healing, then you will be able to use the fears you have during seasons of unknown and seasons of storms and seasons of setbacks into propelling you into strength. It will actually give you strength and more courage, being able to switch that relationship you have with fear. And I've definitely, like, once again, I've struggled with fear this year, and that rhymed. I've struggled with fear this year, and it's been in basically like every area of my life. My health, I've had a setback with my health, an incredibly great grieving type of setback with my health because of COVID and because of contracting COVID. But the fear that I have around my health, I've had to kind of once again shift my perspective, shift my relationship with it, and just continue on and, be brave and have hope and, fuel into my faith, dive deeper into my faith, and trust in God that, He healed me before, He can heal my body again. And, if I'm diligent and persistent and wise and knowledgeable about how I live my life in healthy habits, healing habits, mind, body, spirit, nourishment, then I know God will open up resources, pathways, and just opportunities for me to be able to step into that healing and step into that growth and be able to come out of this season of my health setback. And so with that, other people might be going through setbacks in their career. I had that too. I had it in every area. Like, it's rough, but it's okay. Everyone seems to be having it in one area or more this year, and it's okay. It's normal. It's a process. It's a cycle. It's, something that we can overcome as humans, thankfully, like, because we constantly grow and evolve our minds and our bodies and spirits, and it's just such a beautiful process to be able to overcome these types of seasons. So once you experience the feelings of fear, you will probably experience feelings of discouragement, hopelessness, grief, the feeling of loss, because when you have setbacks in your life, there is some sort of loss that you're going to experience. And it's good to once again shift your mindset from, this is such a punishment, like, why is God punishing me? Why is the world punishing me? Why is life punishing me? This always happens to me, blah, blah, blah. It's better to shift from that toxic mindset into, okay, this happened, it's just another season. My life is shifting. I am evolving. I am growing. What types of lessons can I learn from this? How is this going to play into my future purpose, into my future calling? How is this playing into who I am today as an individual and my growth and who I am becoming as an individual? And this is so key and so important to be able to get out of the feelings of discouragement, hopelessness, and, just sadness and grief. And, I also want to say, acknowledge all these feelings. Let yourself feel these feelings because they are valid. Like when you lose things, people, circumstances in your life, it is traumatic and it is horrific and it is just such a huge loss. And, especially with everything that everyone's lost this year, it's grieving your old life, and that's not an easy thing to do. So, your feelings are valid. What you're experiencing is valid. So don't discount that. Don't discount your feelings, but don't stay in those feelings. Don't reside. Don't take up residence in those feelings because it's toxic and it just prevents you from overcoming. It prevents you from getting out of the seasons of setbacks. Like, it will just continue on if you just stay there, if you keep your mind in that toxic mindset. Like, things like this will just continue to happen if you are constantly focused on what you don't want. I'm learning it's focusing on what you do want. Even in times of what I don't want, I have to focus on what I do have and what I do want. And the more I do that, the more I see it become fruitful in my life. And it's interesting because I've, a lot of this growth and what I'm speaking of today and the healing and the shifting of relationships with fear and having seasons of setbacks, it's taking me a long time. It's taken me years to look at setbacks differently. It's taken me years to grow a healthy relationship with setbacks, a healthy relationship with fear. And I still struggle, just like everyone else. And I just want to share the key points that have helped me shift my relationship and my mindset through these times, because this is such a important time for this to be happening and for the person to be growing and healing and pursuing healing in their lives, because everything's changing, everything's shifting, nothing's the same anymore, and it's just continually changing. And it's just important that that you're not alone and these feelings are valid, and to feel what you're feeling, because it's important to feel what you're feeling, because this is a part of your story and it's going to be a part of who you are in the aspect of the trials that you're going through are helping shape who you are and who you're becoming. And it's so important to look at these trials in that way, because you don't want how you respond to these setbacks to negatively influence who you're becoming. How you respond to this will determine how you overcome, how you'll be victorious, if you'll be victorious, if you'll be successful in life. And it's just so key is how you deal with these setbacks is how the outcome of your life will be. And that's why I just have worked so hard to shift my mindset on these setback seasons, because even though they're painful and, I feel feelings of grief and sadness and, sometimes trauma, I know deep down during those grieving seasons that it's only going to help me, and it's only going to make my life better and going to make other people's lives better, because it's changing who I am. It's changing how I respond to life. And how we respond to life is key, and how we respond to, life being hard or difficult or challenging or feeling like it's impossible is, so key. It's very, very key in your mind, body, and spirit health. And I've been very fortunate to have my faith through my entire life, and if it weren't for my faith in God and Jesus Christ, I don't know where I'd be, because that is my source of strength and that is my anchor, is in my faith. Because even though I'm feeling all types of feelings, confusion, pain, grief, loss, whatever, during these seasons of setbacks, I know that God loves me, God is faithful, God is good, God is a good God, and that I'm a child of God, and that I will be okay, Like, yeah, I'm gonna suffer through seasons like Job. You know, I used to like identify completely with Job in the Bible where he just lost everything, and I've had seasons where everything's been lost, and that actually happened once again this year. And during it, I've never felt so strong in my faith, but it's taken a few of those Job seasons in my life to be able to approach a Job season with the faith like Job, where I just praise God despite everything falling apart. And it takes a long time to get to that point. Like, it's not some overnight thing. So if anyone ever tells you, you should be like this, why aren't you like, praising God automatically? Why are you angry at God, etc.? Like, it takes time to develop that trust relationship with yourself and with God. And once you do go through these seasons with God by your side, you see his character, you see his faithfulness and his love for you and his goodness for you just shines so bright, and it shines brighter than the pain that you are experiencing. And so even though this year has been like incredibly difficult, I have never felt so strong in my faith and have never felt so aligned in my calling and aligned in my purpose path, where I just know everything that happened this year contributed to my growth and who I am and who I'm becoming, and that just makes me so stoked. So something else that helps is this year, when everything was falling apart, just all around me really quickly, I started making plans. I started making plan A, plan B, plan C, and plan D. And, I put categories of every area of my life and action steps of goals on how to get myself out of these setbacks. And I just went for it. And it was so important that I just stayed in my worth, and that I just stayed in the trust in God that he will provide for me, that he will help me rise out of these setbacks. And he did. And because I made my plan A, B, and C, I made action steps underneath of the goals that I wanted, of the life that I wanted, the visions that he gave me that I also wanted, and I made action steps underneath them. I really prayed and meditated on it, and then I went after it, and I'm still going after it. Like, there are still things in my life I'm fixing, because last year looks completely different than it does this year. And there's been blessings that have happened finally after months and months of just turmoil and just struggle and strife and grief from this year. God finally, opened those opportunities and resources for me. And I know he did that because I took the step of action to do so as well. Like, you can't just sit around during seasons of setbacks and expect your dream life to come. Like, it takes hard work, it takes diligence, it takes perseverance, it takes endurance, it takes strength, it takes courage, and it takes, guts. It takes guts to step out in faith and trust and know that, a season of setback is just a season of setback. That's just what it is. It's nothing more, nothing less. And that it's not your destiny. It's not the determinant of your success, in the aspect of, just because you go through seasons of setbacks doesn't mean you're a failure. Just because you go through seasons of setbacks doesn't mean you failed at life. It just means it's a part of your journey. It's just a part, a chapter. And it's just a tool for you to grow and for you to get to the next level of your life. Think of your life as like a video game. You're just leveling up continually. And the only way that you can is if you just continue to face these obstacles. You continue to face the mazes, go through the pipes, go through the, Mario's Bowser's castle, face all the dragons, face all the fireballs, just face it all. Just keep going straight, keep walking forward, and eventually you will get to the next level, and it's a prosperous level, and you will get rewards along the way. You will get blessings along the way. You will get moments of rejuvenating your soul and your mind and your body. And it's just a beautiful process that we live in this life. It's tragic, but it's also beautiful. And to be grateful for this experience of living is, key. It's key. So definitely make a plan, take action steps. Don't be lazy, don't be fearful, just do. Just get up and do. And, if it takes a while, if it takes day after day after day, you're just one day closer, you're 1 hour closer, you're one action step closer to your dream life, to your purpose, to the light that you've been waiting for. And it's just don't give up hope. Just don't give up faith, and just keep going. And I'm going to end with, how can you improve the world around you, and how can you improve the lives around you during the setback? And what can you do to shine your light in this world, despite the fact that you feel like the world is dimming on your light? And just realize, even though you feel like the world is dimming your light, don't let it. Don't let it dim you. Don't let it dim your purpose. Don't let it stray you from being out of alignment of who you are. Just remember who you are. That's another key, is just remember the strength you have. Remember everything you've overcome up until this point. Remember everything that God's done for you and blessed you with in your life. It's gonna be okay. Like, you're gonna be okay. And I just wanted to share these thoughts and life lessons and little key points that I've been, practicing in my life this year, as well as learning. And I hope it makes sense, because I don't script my videos. So I just talk. I talk and let it flow, because that's just how I do things right now. So thank you for listening. But I just encourage you to don't give up, and don't give up on hope, and, just be your beautiful, light-filled self, and just keep going, keep waking up every day, and know that each day is a new day, a fresh start, a clean slate, and seasons of setbacks are temporary. They're not permanent. So don't take up residence, and just know that you're on your way to more beautiful you're on your way to more beautiful and better things. And if you ever feel discouraged or just overwhelmed by seasons of setbacks, or feelings that come from seasons of setbacks, please reach out to me, because I will be here for you, and I can pray for you and encourage you that you are doing just fine, and you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be, and you will arrive at your beautiful destination very soon, and not a moment too soon, and not a moment too late, but at the right time. And yes, I just hope you have such a beautiful day, and I hope some of these words were encouraging to you. And yeah, I just send my love and my light and my healing prayers to each and every one of you. Thanks for watching my videos.